Good morning, everybody. How's it going? Got got some funny news for Ralph there, pal. Uh, Ralph's been doing some damage control this morning. You know, it's Mother's Day. It's not like he's gonna go visit his mother or anything. No, he's gonna damage control on Twitter about how he totally had an event set up with Sargon. I think he talks about it right here. I just uh I just put it out on Telegram with this. There's many more messages. I didn't make it up. It's not true. Sargon is either lying or telling the truth. Either way, just show up for the debate, Carl. Please. Please show up for the debate. I thought we were trying to bury the hatchet and discuss the future of your country. But the thing is he was never talking to Sargon. He's been getting trolled the entire time. He was never talking to Mark Collette either. He was talking to Borges, which is a guy that hangs out with Plate, and the whole time he was talking to fake accounts that were making him think they wanted to come on his show. but really they were just fucking with him, and nobody really wanted to come on his show because he's a boring, fat, unoriginal retard. And he put this out on Twitter this morning, but what he actually left out was the fact that Sargon contacted him on Telegram and told him that he was full of shit and said that he never agreed to it. And Ralph was talking about this morning in his Telegram that he thought he was actually going to be appearing with Mark Collette, but that wasn't really Mark Collette's account. It was Borges trolling Ralph on Telegram the whole time. And Ralph is so drunk and stupid, he thought he was talking to the real Mark Collette. And he was just getting trolled the entire time. He wasn't talking to the real Sargon either. And Sargon of Akkad saw what Ralph tweeted and messaged Ralph privately on Telegram, and Ralph forwarded it to his group chat, which he doesn't know that we have spies in the group chat that tell me everything that gets talked about in there. And this is an official response from Sargon's actual account, in which he said, I have absolutely no knowledge of what Ralph is referring to. He's never contacted me or my team. He appears to have made this up merely to promote himself. Ralph can release the correspondence he's had with myself or my team at any time and show that he had organized this in good faith, and I am the one who's lying. If he can't or won't do that, then you have your answer. So I guess Ralph got tricked into actually believing that he actually was going to have Sargon of Akkad on to debate Mark Collette about race realism. Can you believe that, guys? Can you believe how smart Ralph is? What is this? The second guest now that hasn't shown up. First it was Milo Yiannopoulos was going to stop by just to talk to his old buddy, his old pal, the guy that he fired, and he was going to come on the show, and then Milo didn't even show. And then it was 45 minutes of Gator trying to tell us stupid stories that nobody cares about, and Ralph struggling to get a sentence out because he's so drunk. And now we find out that this is now the second guest that Ralph has lied about coming on. Notice how Milo hasn't said a fucking word about any of this because he was never coming on. Same thing with Sargon. Same thing with Mark Collette. I mean, the last time Mark Collette was on Ralph's show, it's probably traumatic for Ralph because the last time Mark was on his show, Ralph's wife, who left him, was on the show, and all she did was completely ignore the fact that Ralph was even there, suck Mark Collette's dick, talk about how it's Mark Collette's show, and tweet about how Mark Collette was on the show. Well, Mark completely dominated the entire show, and Ralph couldn't get one fucking word in because he's such a simp cock. Good job, though. You're just loading up that ammo for us to make fun of you about, Ethan Ralph. I mean, I was getting Discord leaks the other day where Ralph was talking about how he's fast and how he is a very fast man. How he has the ability to easily best PPP in a fight because he has the speed and the determination to easily beat PPP. So, I mean, I just don't see that as possible because Ralph struggles to do, 15 push-ups. I mean, let's pull up the beautiful bean footage of Ralph trying to do push-ups. I mean, that shouldn't be too hard. Hold on, let me pull that up real quick. We'll go ahead and we'll do a browser source. We'll add that source. Yeah. And we will load this up. Let's pull this amazing speed and tactile deftness from Ethan Ralph. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah. He's at 8. He's already guessed. He's trying to kick Andy. He can't even do 12. He's done. He couldn't even do 12 push-ups with his knees on the ground. Yet he is going to easily best PPP in a fight. This man can't do 12 push-ups. And he was doing girl push-ups with his knees on the ground. And he was gassed by the 8th push-up. But he's going to totally, easily best PP in a fight. He has the fighting skills. He knows how to box. The only box that involved Ralph in jail was him getting boxed out by Bubba in his butthole. Okay? He wasn't boxing anybody in jail. Okay? It wasn't fucking what was that movie with Michelle Pfeiffer where they had the Gangster's Paradise song? Dangerous Minds. It wasn't Dangerous Minds in jail where, Ralph threw on a do-rag and taught them how to speak and spell, taught them how to read, and then they all, play a rap song and Ralph waves his hands. That wasn't how jail was, okay? Ralph was white, he was fat, he was pudgy, he was someone's pincushion, okay? He didn't have some magical transformative lifetime special where he became one of the brothers because, he pretended that he grew up in Memphis. Which, by the way, he constantly says this shit like, oh, Memphis, Tennessee. He didn't grow up in Memphis, Tennessee. He grew up in West Memphis, Arkansas. He can't even tell the truth about where he grew up. So why would anybody take this fucking guy seriously? He is in such a pathetic, drunken state that he is getting trolled by fake accounts into booking fake venues and fake imaginary blood sports competitions to which real content producers like the actual Mark Collette and the actual Sargon are looking at him and going, what are you doing, man? What the hell is going on with you that you're literally making up imaginary fucking shows that people aren't even coming on, and you're trying to brag about this? I mean, are you serious right now? You can't be, for real. You can't be an honest person if you think that anybody takes you seriously at this point. I mean, he's literally pinning on his fucking Telegram thing that him and Sargon buried the hatchet, and Sargon's going, I don't know what the hell you're talking about, pal, because I've never talked to you. I haven't had a conversation with you in years. What are you talking about? And Ralph just continues to lie about stuff. So I'll pull this up too. Hold on. Let's just pull this one up. What is this? Yeah, here it is. So here's Ralph. He pinned this to his fucking Telegram group. Me and Sargon buried the hatchet. 2020 really is the end. And then Sargon messages him this morning and he's like, I don't know what you're talking about. You sure as fuck haven't talked to me, pal. And this is what this guy is talking about. This is what he's so proud about, that he's bragging that, him and him completely buried the hatchet, that they're friends now, that they grew beyond their argument. And Sargon's like, hey buddy, I never grew beyond my argument. You made a joke about my dead kid. You can go fuck yourself. How could anybody believe a word that comes out of fucking Ethan Ralph's mouth? He just lies about everything. It's just absolutely fucking pathetic. that this guy will continue to lie over and over and over, and people just keep giving him chances. Another thing that I found almost absolutely fucking hilarious about Ralph is that now he's such a fucking simp that he's simping on his fucking TikTok girl. Because apparently he made her one of the mods on his DLive channel, and a bunch of cowboys came in there the other day and just started spamming, "You murdered your baby. You murdered your baby. Haha. You murdered your baby." And Ralph was just banning hundreds of people. He banned over 50 people out of his Discord in a single night. But wasn't Gator on Nick Rakita's show being a fat Jandy the other day, claiming, "Huh, well, we never banned anybody from the Discord, guys. You know, honestly, I mean, they could just make a new account and we'll let them back in." Well, we tried that. In fact, Hephaestus, Cog's old co-host, made another account, went into Ralph's show while Ralph was on the air, and Ralph, for 2 hours yesterday, pulled every single person into the channel besides Hef. Same thing with Gator. And when Gator was asked, "Why am I not being let in?" Gator was such a pussy, he wouldn't even fucking respond. But they're such paragons of free speech. Didn't you know that, guys? Didn't you know that Ethan Ralph is such a paragon of free speech? Is that why you have an active group of people as administrators in your channel, making sure that, hey, if anybody may be associated with me or Plate or anyone else, that they have to be banned, that they cannot be allowed in the server, and that if they are, and he finds out about it, he will demod anybody that gives us any kind of information. So when we found out that he was actively banning people that were connected to me, he went ahead and he demodded a whole bunch of people out of his server, including some of his oldest wrenches and oldest mods, because he just couldn't trust them and they weren't in the Gunt cabal. Now he's gone ahead and he's renamed people in his server. Now the mods are called the Gunt Guard. And I guess that's his way of owning it. He's basically the equivalent of a fat kid that gets bullied in the schoolyard and goes, "Oh, yeah, I'm the fat kid." You know, he's basically the chunk of the group now. He's doing the truffle shuffle on camera, and he wants everyone to feel sorry for him. Nobody feels sorry for him. They just hope he dies soon of cirrhosis of the liver. So I'm gonna go. Here's another thing. He is so confident in himself that he thinks that he can simp to this girl that committed murder when she got an abortion. And he's talking about how he's such a genius with marketing and shit that in the next few weeks he's gonna get her to 1,000 viewers. He's gonna get her 1,000 viewers, and he's bragging about it in the server about how he's gonna get her 1,000 viewers. Here he is right here. You can just listen to him and Gator and 2 other people as they just continuously simp to this girl. They keep talking about how they're going to protect her, how they're going to get her set up on a new channel on TikTok, how they're going to get her a brand new channel on DLive, how they're going to hook her up, they're going to get her thousands of views, and they're going to get her all this stuff. Look what Ralph's saying. Don't pay any attention to it. They're just upset. I'm going to help you. I'm going to make you a new person. We already found out everything about her. We can dox her right now. But there's no point, because I want Ralph to feel safe. I want Ralph to feel comfortable. I want him to keep simping to this girl and just simp and simp and simp. And I want him to put all of his time and his energy into this girl, and I want him to feel like he really is safe. So that once he's safe and he's bragged about her, and he's bragged about her new channel and everything, then I'm going to release her docs. I'm going to release it publicly. It's going to be hilarious, and there's not a fucking thing that Ethan Ralph can do about it. And there sure as hell is nothing that big old fatty Shannon Gaines can do about it either. because I will openly do whatever the hell I want on the internet, and so will my friends, and there ain't a goddamn thing that Gator or Ralph or any of their little gay little flagger friends can do about it. Ralph is a pathetic loser who is simping to anything with a heartbeat in his server. The first week he was done with Nora, he started bragging on Dick's show that he was going out to LA to get pussy. Do you know what he was doing the entire time? Do you know that new mod in his Discord? Was it Chai Chai or something? Yeah. He was trying to have an relationship with her, and he was texting her that he had feelings for her and all this shit. And he didn't realize that the whole time that he was texting her and telling her that he had feelings for her and shit, after he'd modded her, and he had spent, weeks getting to know her and opening up to her about his marriage and shit. Yeah, he didn't realize that we already had one of the plate agents already talking, chatting her up, who was going to meet her and was going to fuck her, just to cuck Ethan Ralph. And once Ethan caught wind of that, he immediately was like, "Oh, I can't trust her anymore. I can't trust her anymore. We're just not compatible, and the trolls are gonna come after you. So I gotta break it off." And then Ethan immediately stopped talking to her, unmodded her, unrolled her. That's just who Ethan is right now. He didn't even realize we were gonna cuck him, and my boy was gonna fuck his girl just for laughs. That's how fucking pathetic Ethan Ralph is, that he was in love with an imaginary girl who was literally just showing us his chat logs, making fun of him. We knew that he was talking to her, and we doxed her immediately. And we didn't release her dox because we wanted Ethan to fall in love with her. And then the minute he caught wind that she was talking to somebody else, he immediately broke ties. Because that is how stupid Ralph is. By the way, I keep hearing about him bragging about how he's going to, completely destroy PPP, how he's going to, whoop his ass, and how he's going to do all this shit. He's not going to do anything. He knows right now that the current state of PPP is that PPP is, morbidly obese. I'm not saying it to be an asshole, because it's how just, stupid Ralph. That's just how stupid Ralph is. He knows that it would take PPP easily a year and a half to lose that weight, if he's lucky. If he fucking goes ahead and he really dedicates himself, if he really has the belief that he can lose the weight for the thing, it would easily take PPP maybe 15, 16 months to lose 80 pounds at best. It would take him an easy 2 years, and that's just with steady dieting and exercise, to lose 100 pounds, because you got to realize he's been stagnant for a long time. He's been doing mukbangs. Same thing with Ralph. It is going to take them easily a year or two to lose that weight steadily and keep it off before they can even start developing muscle to get anywhere close to fighting shape. Last year I was about 80 pounds overweight. So far I've lost 86 pounds, and then I've put on about 48 pounds in muscle. And it's taken, close to 13 months to get to that. And I exercise 4 times a week, and I go to the gym 4 times a week, 2 hours a day. And I eat a hell of a lot better than those two do. And it's been hard for me. So imagine guys that literally just inhale mukbangs all day, just thousands of calories, just flat, empty carbs that are just disgusting trash food and liquor. And you think that these two guys are going to get in fighting shape in 6 months? That's not fucking happening. That's why Ralph is running his fucking mouth, because he knows damn well that the both of those guys are never going to be in shape. And even if they sign waivers, their weight difference is going to be too different. Either PPP is going to be 20 pounds heavier than him, or Ralph's going to be 20 pounds heavier than PPP. Their weights are never going to be in the same range. So he knows that they're never really going to fight. That's why he's running his mouth. "Oh, I'll show up for $5,000. He's never going to show up. He never planned to show up to begin with. He knows that if he's all of a sudden a fighter when we're in the middle of a fucking coronavirus crisis where every major event is shut down, where most states are staying closed until the end of the year, where schools are shut. They're not even opening up again until maybe October. But he's getting ready for a big fight. What does he think? How many fucking people are they even going to let in? He's completely fucking delusional. They're not going to have a big major fight event in the next fucking 6 months. It's not going to happen. And what's Ralph going to do in the 6 months? He's going to do the same thing that Andy did. They're going to sit there, they're going to curl some fucking some dumbbells in their house and then pretend that they were training the whole time. And then all of a sudden it's going to be just like Andy. Like Andy was, oh, yeah, I'm working out 5-6 days a week. And then he gets there and he has a bird chest, no development in his arms. He has no real change in his entire body. And then what? We're supposed to believe that Andy was training the entire time? I mean, come on. I talked to Andy plenty of times during that event. He was not training. He was at home rolling around in the backyard with one of his friends that was apparently an MMA fighter, and then curling dumbbells in between that time. And I'm supposed to believe that Ralph, the guy that can't even quit drinking, is going to be dedicated enough to put himself through a training regimen to become a fighter. And he's saying that he's got a history of boxing. Well, what history of boxing do you have there, Ethan? Was it the time that you swung and tried to knock out a female cop when you were drunk and missed and fell on the floor in the hotel lobby and then got arrested and sent to jail? I mean, come on. Who the fuck are you trying to kid? You're just delusional. All of this is just bullshit to make money. And Ralph wants to make so much money off of this that he's willing to say and make any promise that he wants to. His latest promise is this. Let me pull this up for you guys. He thinks that people don't watch. So I'm going to put this up for you guys. And you guys can watch this and you can see Ethan Ralph lie. Let's just listen to this.
Like, do you think it's worth looking
into? He says, I don't know more than anybody else.
I'm saying if you want to dig. If you find shit, great. If they're responsible, they're gay for it. But I haven't seen anything showing that. Okay. I've heard a lot of promises.
So that's Big Daddy Jimbo saying that if Ralph was responsible for flagging PPP, or any of his friends are, they're gay for flagging him. And then here we go. Here comes Ralph with the cope. When he's asked to show his flagging history, it's an excuse. Same thing for Gator. They're all of a sudden pretending they don't know how to flag people on YouTube. Okay, pal.
You don't think there's any
like Jesse saying that
that would point towards, for instance, Ethan Ralph being the one that would have flagged down my video or Gator when I've had, streams. The only times I really get flagged down or for their specific instances where I'm doing videos on them. You don't think that
thought he didn't care about his channel
points at all in the direction of them being responsible?
I'm literally telling you, if they flagged you down, they're faggots for doing it.
There you go. That's Big Daddy Jim saying that if Ethan Ralph and his Gunt guard at any point in time flag down PPP, that they are faggots for doing it. And you know what? I agree with them. Because it seems to be a running trend. I caught Flamenco the other day. Now he was trying to claim that this never happened, that no one ever mentioned flagging, and that nobody ever mentioned we never said that we wanted to flag PPP's video. I think there's a clip of that actually. Let me go back and find the clip. Let me see if I have it. Yeah, here it is. It's at around 4:30 on Flamenco's channel, where he's talking with one of his friends about this. Let's pull this clip up. Where is it? 4:30ish. Here we go. We'll just play from 4 minutes on.
Oh man. So here's something interesting. So alongside this, there was a certain fat push-up-less
Mr.
crybaby who was streaming.
Oh, was
stream
he?
sniping Ralph. Yeah.
Oh, PPP was?
Yeah, he was stream sniping with Godwinson's channel, and kind of going on to check the numbers, see how he's doing, and turns out, at the end, the video is private now. The stream's not there. It's private.
That's funny how that works.
Yeah, he's him and his Jannies were looking for PPP's channel, and the video just happened to go private. To which, if you look in the side chat, somebody goes, "Oh, I was trying to report it," but yeah, they're totally not doing this, and they're talking about how PPP can't do push-ups. Ralph didn't do one push-up in his video. He couldn't even do fucking girl push-ups. It's very obvious that Ralph and Bibble and all these little Gunt guardlings are trying to run an open flag campaign on PPP because they're mad that he's kicking the hornet's nest and doing the same thing that I did last year, which is fucking with them. So Flamenco's a liar, Gator's a liar, and they're openly trying to lie. Their new thing is they're trying to claim that I was on some fucking news channel harassing a 10-year-old on a fucking baby monitor. I mean, how fucking pathetic are you, Shannon? Are you mad that I made fun of you and I took away your soundboard? Because I noticed that, the big, brave Shannon Gaines, a.k.a. Big Old Fatty Gator Gamer, he hasn't used his soundboard in over a year. Did you guys know that? Because the last time he was on a stream with me, I told him to shut the fuck up, and I said if anyone needs anything out of an autistic speaking spell, we'll tell you to roll that bean footage and hit the fucking soundboard. Shut the fuck up, Gator. And he didn't speak the entire time I was on that fucking show. And then he banned me the next day, and then all of a sudden had his mouth. Just like after me and Dick got left behind in the old call the other day on Nick Akita's show, and me and Dick talked about things for about 20 minutes after we were left on. We didn't even realize we were off the show because we were talking the entire time. All of a sudden, Gator's in there, and he's got some new evidence, and he's got some new videos, and he's talking about stuff, and all of a sudden, he's this big, brave man. But, anytime I'm president, he's a complete pussy. Anytime he's in a VC, and I join the VC, he immediately leaves it. Anytime he's in a server, and he's actively talking in the server, he immediately leaves the server when I join. And then, this fucking loser has the balls, the temerity to sit with a straight face and say that people are jealous of him because he's the host of a show that gets maybe 800 views on a high night, most of the time averaging around 600 views. And we're supposed to be jealous of this fucking loser? Is he delusional? No one is jealous of you being the place that Ethan Ralph places his balls when he gets a little sweaty and he needs somebody to take the heat off of him. Okay, no one is impressed by your ability to grab a shovel and start shoveling that shit when people start dumping it on Ethan Ralph. Okay, no one is impressed by you being a fucking joke. Don't ever forget the fact that this is the same guy that when he got pissed off at you said, "Yeah, well, you begged me for your rent." Don't forget that this is the guy that told me and Andy you had to beg your mom for money so that you could have a friggin' loan so that you could get down to fucking Knoxville to begin with. Don't forget that, pal. He's your friend, though, right? Yeah, he's your good old bosom buddy. That's why he told us that you had to beg your mom for money so you can come to Knoxville because you couldn't really afford it. That's why you had to go halvesies on a couch, and you had to take turns sleeping on the couch in between girls that they fucked while they were in Knoxville, pal. Who are you fooling? And you made such a fucking embarrassment of yourself in Knoxville that you didn't even come to Miami. Plus, nobody wanted you there because you were such a fucking weirdo in Knoxville walking around with that stupid fucking mask that all everyone did was laugh at you. Could you imagine this fucking guy walking around with a Dollar Store General kick-ass mask? I mean, what was it, Mr. P? He made some great fan art where he made Gator as fat ass with his soundboard on his back. And it was just a big old fat gut. It's just hilarious. How can anybody take these fucking people seriously? They're completely uneducated. What was Gator's story? Oh, I went to school for computer technology. Okay, well, where's your fucking degree, Gator? Why are you like 26 and you're fucking boxing groceries at frickin' Dollar General? Nobody takes you seriously, Gator. There's not a single fucking warm take that's come out of you in the entire time you've ever been on the internet. I mean, really, what do we get from you, Gator? Boy, let me do this gym stick, guys. Yeah, boy, let me tell you guys about the time I banged this hot Puerto Rican girl. But she was basically like, she was just mad at me for not taking out the trash. Get the fuck out of here, man. No woman is gonna bitch at you about taking the trash out besides your fucking mother. And as a man, if you're living with a woman, you should be taking the fucking trash out on your own. You shouldn't need to get reminded by a fucking woman to take the trash out. What kind of fucking beta male are you that you got a woman making you do chores in your own fucking house? Are you kidding me? Get the fuck out of here with those fucking tall tales. And then Dick in the background's like, oh yeah, let's how many hot blondes you been out with, Gator? Because he knows damn well Gator's a fucking virgin. And he knows damn well that these fucking guys don't get pussy. He knows damn well these guys don't go out. I mean, come on, he had Ralph at his house. You think he was out at the fucking titty bars? You think he was out at the Hustler Club? Hanging out with fucking Ralph? Throwing dollar bills going, I cashed in these lemons tonight. Ooh, I cashed in these lemons tonight. Yeah, okay. Yeah, we're really believing that fucking Ralph is high rolling. We're believing that fucking Gator's high rolling too. I mean, Gator needs to ask his mommy for permission to go to internet friend adventures. Oh, hey, Mom, what's going on today? Stop doing that stupid voice. What are you talking about, Mom? This is my real voice. Stop fucking laughing like that, too. You're a disappointment to me and your father. When are you going to get your shit together and move out? Well, you know, I would love to move out, but you know, we're really working on a crazy show. You know, this weekend we're gonna get Mr. Medicare to come on, and he's gonna talk to Sorgon and Mort Collette. His mom's just like, get the fuck out of my house. Just go somewhere. I don't want to deal with you. I don't want to deal with you. Go away. Go away. And then she just, you know, pushes him into the garage and closes the door and just pretends that he's not even there. That's all he is. Same thing with Ralph. You honestly think his mother misses him? You honestly think his mother doesn't look at him and is just completely disappointed in the person he is? I mean, could you imagine having a son who at the highest point was averaging 6,000 to 8,000 viewers, was making hundreds of thousands of dollars a month, and never once thought, I'm going to spend that money on my mother. I'm going to help my mother with bills. No, he lets his mother's house get foreclosed on, and now he has to pay rent to a Russian developer that bought the house so that he can live in the house and pretend that he has his own place. And he lets his mom get put into a fucking hospice and probably never visits her because he never goes outside. He's drunk. He's up till 4, 5, 6 in the morning, damage controlling on Twitter. I mean, when does he have time for his mother? This is the same guy who tries to go on to a Rambot stream the other day and talk about how I never knew who my father was and I'm apparently Mexican. I knew who my father was. Me and him didn't get along very well, but I was there with him in the end. I was there when my father died. I was there holding the fucking casket when my dad died. I was the one that pushed the fucking button on the crematorium at the crematorium. I was there for my family. Where were you, Ethan? You didn't even know your dad was dead. It took a whole week of your dad being dead to the point that he literally melted into friggin' Ralph soup before you even knew he was dead. And then you had just enough time to get on stream to talk about your dad, your dead dad that you told me had died the year before. Just long enough to get sympathy streams and sympathy donations of people donating to you and saying, oh, Ethan, I'm so sorry for the loss of your father, as if you ever even gave a shit about your father. You told me and Andy that your dad was dead the year before and that he was the reason that you were an alcoholic. You literally used your dead father for fucking donations because you're such a disingenuous scum that even when your father dies, you gotta use him for pity donations? You needed that Ronnie Ralph soup? And then, not even 5 days after you tell Yue that he's a Mexican, you call him racial slurs and then say he doesn't belong in your country. Which, by the way, you did that on a channel of a guy that was literally a Spanish guy. You then have a wake for your dead father at Pancho's Burritos, a fast food restaurant. How much of a fucking walking joke are you, Ralph? How much of a joke are you going to continue to be that you're getting trolled by plate alts, pretending to be Mark Collette and Sargon, and setting up fake interviews and fake guest appearances on your own show? You're such a fucking joke, Ralph. Oh, man. Enjoy having no venue tonight. It's not true. It's not true. By the way, I've been getting a lot of clips that have been being sent to me. Here's a nice clip that somebody sent me. You know how Dick talks about how rich he is and how he owns his own houses and how he's got this rich. Well, here's a clip that somebody sent me of Jesse, where apparently Jesse found a clip last year where Dick's father talks about how he bought the house for him. So let's go ahead and play that.
I can't think of anything else to ask my dad.
Well, no, he called you.
Oh yeah, what did you? Oh, you wanted to talk to me about the house, right?
Yeah, we closed it.
Amazing.
I just got the notice and wanted to let you know.
All right, I don't want to talk to people about that.
Okay.
I'm trying.
Oh, okay, weird. Well, he doesn't want to talk to people about that. Whatever that is, his dad felt.
Yeah, apparently his dad bought his house for him. So that amazing, huge summer home that Dick has. Yeah, apparently his daddy bought it for him. Apparently his father is affluent and likes to help him out. So apparently that mansion was purchased by his father. I don't know if it's true or not, but somebody sent me that clip. I've also gotten sent a screenshot where apparently 80s Girl secretly recorded Dick fighting with Kian, his friend who is also his show's lawyer, because Kian was going to make a move on JLH. Dick threw 80s Girl out of the house and screamed at her and berated her all the time because she's mentally ill and treats her like shit. Apparently 80s Girl doesn't want to have three-ways, even though Dick claimed that he had three-ways with 80s Girl and that girl that he was going to buy angel wings for. She does it because her dying uterus hopes that if she slut tricks Dick enough, eventually he'll want to get married and have a kid. Dick admits that he pretty much wants to use people to get what he wants, and he pretends that with Jamie it was something more deep, but by his own admission he was just getting what he wanted and lied. Apparently Dick gives people drugs to keep them around and alcohol, and if he knows that they have substance abuse issues, he will give them these things to keep them around. And apparently everyone IRL knows that Dick pulls a Maddox if anyone tells him anything. Apparently there's also a full article that was written on Medium where apparently this girl talks about this, and it was flagged down. So I don't know if that's true or not, but apparently this girl, 80s Girl, records Dick being a simp, records Dick lying, and records Dick doing all of this shit, and she frequently leaks these to other people, and they're somewhere on the internet. So I don't know the veracity or the truth behind these stories, but I would definitely like to look into this. So I'm going to be looking into if these recordings of Dick berating her or abusing her or forcing her to do things she's not comfortable with actually exist, because if that's true, then Dick's story, just like when he said he had a mansion the other day, is completely demonstrably false as well. Because he said that he had a mansion, and then it turned out that he had just a normal 3-bedroom house. You know, he doesn't live in the Hollywood Hills. I've been in the Hollywood Hills. He lives nowhere near the Hollywood Hills. He lives apparently south of this area called Eagle Rock, and it's just full of Spanish and Punjabi people. So It seems like a lot of what he says isn't true. I mean, he claimed that he was like this Joe Big Dick, and that he played football in high school. That's what he told PPP the other day, that he played football in high school. Well, I actually went ahead and I found his yearbook, and you'll see that the first 3 years in high school, Dick isn't really that popular. He doesn't really. You see him in the videos, especially the graduations. He's kind of standing in the back of people. He's not really up front, big popular guy like he claimed. He's just kind of like standing in the back, letting other people talk. And then the last year, his senior year, he was homecoming king, but the woman was ugly that was homecoming queen. And then there's actually another guy that was prom king, and that guy was so popular, he had his own fan club. And how come Dick never talked about that? That his friend that was way more popular than him, that Dick hung out with, had his own fan club, had people following him around. That guy was popular. Dick, all he has is that he won homecoming, and that he was like, there's even a picture of him where he's listening to women, which I thought was funny too. There's literally a picture of him in the yearbook, and he's just kind of standing there staring at a woman, listening to her talk. Other than that, I mean, cool, you were a homecoming king. You didn't have your own fan club. You weren't as popular as this other guy. So I don't know why you're acting like you're some amazing guy right now. I mean, just be yourself. Stop trying to relive high school. And you didn't play football either, because the full football roster is on your yearbook, and you never played football. You claimed you played football when you talked to PPP, but you never did. And it's not in your yearbook, so unless you played your freshman and sophomore year, you didn't play football, Dick. I don't know why these people need to continue to lie. It's just not very funny. It's sad. It's like, coach put me in the game. I would have won it. I would have gone to state. I could throw a football over a mountain. It's like the fucking Uncle Rico syndrome. That's all he's currently living with, is Uncle Rico syndrome right now. It's just constantly reliving the past, constantly wishing that you could have been more in high school. It's just sad. Why even bother that? Why even bother continuing that? If anybody wants to learn more about this, you can actually look up. It's Valencia High School, class of 1998. I think it's up on the website SVS, and you can easily go and look and go through the yearbook and see how popular these people were. You can see how great they were, and you can see that it just doesn't add up to the stories. It's like being told you're gonna get a Ferrari, and then you come up on like a Hyundai Tucson. I don't get these fucking people. I don't get why they got to be a liar. I don't get why Ralph needs to lie and pretend that he's got all these guests coming on. Stop calling it blood sports, Ralph. You and Gator are the biggest pussies in the entire community. You are not fit to run blood sports. You are not fit to be involved in a blood sports community. You are not fit to even be in a Discord that is talking about blood sports, because you're all cowards. Gator talks about, I'll come on and talk to anybody. Is that why last night on Earjuice's stream you refused to come in? You refused to come on to the channel? You refused to come into the Discord and talk to anybody because apparently, and then made up some lie that Hef apparently paid Earjuice or Cog $25 to be a co-host every month? And then when you got called out for being a bitch, you completely backed down and stopped tweeting all night? Because you knew that you're a big old bitch and you can't handle anybody talking to you? I think one of the funniest things that Gator ever said on that Nick Rakita stream is, these people, they're cowards, and they're jealous of me, and they can't handle being in a Discord server in a situation that they can't control, because if they can't manipulate the audience or the facts, they're just too afraid to face anybody. Gator, you were literally so terrified you won't join a VC if you do not have admin. You did the same thing in Flamenco's channel. We went to Flamenco's Discord and we hung out in there for like a week, and Gator immediately stopped hanging out in Flamenco's Discord. He stopped talking in Flamenco's Discord. He stopped going into VC in Flamenco's Discord. He stopped going on there, period. He literally fled back to the old SBCC or to Bibble's channel or to Rambot's channel, and he refused to talk in Flamenco's thing. And then, after that, he went through and he banned everybody out of the server. And then, all of a sudden, he started talking. And he thought we wouldn't know, but we had alts, because we have alts in every fucking server there is. And he immediately gained back his bravery and his balls the minute he had banned us. Because that's how much of a coward Gator is. That he only has a mouth when he can ban you out of the server. And after you're banned, then he's able to talk about you. Because that's how much of a coward Ethan Ralph and Gator are. They can't handle anybody pushing back on them. They can't handle anybody busting their balls or making fun of them or giving them any kind of shit. That's why Gator had that Gillian guy in there. Because if Gillian was sitting there screening the callers, one of Gillian's things was, oh, you can't make Ralph look stupid. Oh, you can't say anything subversive that makes Ralph look bad or puts Ralph in a bad light. Oh, you can't do anything that makes Ralph look dumb. Give Ralph time to look things up. Fuck Ralph. If he's running a show, he should already be well versed on the topic he's talking about, or he shouldn't fucking talk about it. Okay? You don't bring your car to a mechanic so that they can wax poetic about their theories about the relative interests of a spark plug. Okay? You don't do that. You bring your car to a mechanic to get the fucking car fixed. And that's the problem with Ralph. Is he's literally a guy who talks himself up as a political activist, and he's this amazing political divisive person who has all of these ideas about right-wing versus left-wing politics, and he took political science in community college. Well, you never fucking finished your degree, Ralph. You didn't have the discipline or the balls to, even for a stupid degree like political science, finish the fucking degree. You don't read. You're not well educated. You don't even bother to read the articles. The only time you actually read the articles is right when you bring them up on stream. That's the only time you read them. And half the time, you don't even have an opinion. You'll read the article, you'll wait for one of your co-hosts to talk about it, and then you'll mimic their opinions as if they were your own. You're literally the walking equivalent of a sheep. You have no real thoughts or opinions on your own. It's absolutely pathetic how you can run a political commentary show and you have no political commentary. You just sit there, oh, yeah, I know about that, Marklet. Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, that's a good maker's mark, guys. But, yeah. Marklet, what do you think about this? And then Marklet could be like, let's make an example. Let's pretend that Wakanda is real, and we'll pretend that Mark Collette is talking about Wakanda, and Mark Collette would be, well, honestly, I feel that the current situation with Wakanda is unprecedented. I mean, why were they keeping all that vibranium a secret? And what about all this vibranium technology? How are we going to use it? And then Ralph would be like, well, I don't know anything about vibranium. I mean, what's that? The kind of metal it just shakes? What does it do? Does it vibrate? Well, honestly, I don't know much about vibranium. I just know it's the rarest metal on the earth, and I just can't believe that these African folk would hide it from us. What else are they hiding in that amazing country? I thought it was a third world country. Well, it might be a third world country, but, we can't just come in there and take everything we want, That's literally Ralph. He has no fucking opinions. He has no original thoughts. He's like a in the 90s, the yak back, where you talk and then you hit the button and you can slow it down. Be like, hey, what's up? My name's Ethan Ralph, and I'm a big old fat piece of shit. And then you hit the yak back and it'll go, hey, what's up? I'm Ethan Ralph. I'm a big old fat piece of shit. And then you can speed it up or slow it down or make the voice deeper or higher. Hey, it's Ralph, you big old piece of shit. That's all Ralph is. Whatever his guests' opinions are, he will mimic the guest's opinion. He will have no fucking clue what he's talking about at any point in time before that. He will have never talked about that at any point in time in the past. He'll have never taken a solid stance politically or personally about whatever topic is being discussed on the show. But he will take that opinion when it sits right with his callers. So whoever calls in, as long as there's somebody that he wants to keep bringing back on the show, he will pretend if those views are his. You know, in Gamergate, he was this one person. Then it wasn't making him money, so then he started hanging out with alt-right people, but then he wasn't them either. Then he's hanging out with skeptics, but he doesn't want to be with those people either. I mean, he keeps changing his politosphere because it's whatever can get him views. You know, he's talking about how people can't be trusted, but then he's arm in arm with them at political meetings. Can we really take this guy at all seriously? Does he have any real talking points? Does he have any real beliefs? No, because Ralph is just as empty as his tummy in the morning. And all he does is eat shekels, and he will change his views, his opinions, and his actual beliefs for any amount of money, which essentially just makes Ralph an obese whore. And that's all Ethan Ralph is. He's a big, obese whore. And what's even worse is that Gator is a whore, but he doesn't even get paid. So he's like a girl with bipolar disorders that opens up an OnlyFans and then doesn't charge people to look at him. He's like a disgusting fat girl that opens an OnlyFans account and then lets people look at her for free and doesn't even want to sell her subscriptions for $1. That's what Gator is. He's a free OnlyFans model. Anyways, that's all I had to say for today. I'm sure we're going to watch Ralph struggle to have any kind of audience tonight, as once again he's proven that he can easily be fucked with by the Plate Gang. He can easily be tricked into fake events because he's stupid. And, he'll once again fail to deliver anything worth watching. It'll be another fucking snore fest of them talking about, well, Gator, we told Carl that the doors are open. And, I'm hoping that Carl comes on the show tonight. And then Gator will be like, well, Ralph, we tried to talk to Sargon, and, he just wouldn't respond to us today. I mean, obviously he doesn't want to talk to us, guys. He doesn't want to come on the show and talk about the truth. And then Ralph will go, yeah, I mean, what is it? You think we're going to jump him or something? Just, shut the fuck up, Ralph. Shut the fuck up, Gator. Nobody cares what either of you think. Nobody watches your show to hear the hot takes of Ethan Ralph and the Gator Gamer. They watch your show to see if Ralph is either going to puke on himself, if he's going to be high on pills, if he's going to drink himself to death. That's it. Didn't you find it a little alarming that the show viewership drops to like 200 viewers when Ralph is not on the show? Because nobody cares what Ralph and Gator think. Nobody cares what Gator, and they sure as hell don't care what Gator and Flamenco and Bibble think. It's just boring. Why don't you guys do this imaginary thing where you close your eyes, you imagine that you're in a room, okay? Imagine that this is inside of you. And deep down inside that room, there's somebody in that room. And it's this thing called a personality. And if you have it, you'll be able to present it to other people as a reflection of who you are. And through building that personality, over time, you'll start to have views and political beliefs and aspirations that reflect your core personality. That way, when you interact with other people in the real world and they have differing views, you can debate those views and topics, or even better, present your views and topics and engage in a political discussion where your views are weighed against other people's views and you find a common place of agreement. Instead, what you do is, oh, this person says jump. Oh, I say how high. That's not a political discussion. That's pandering to your guest because you're too stupid to have your own opinions. That is not a real view. That is not anything worth watching. That is why you can't handle people like PPP or Godwinson fucking with you, because they have their own opinions. They have their own views, and they push that against you, and you have nothing to say because you don't really have any real opinions or views. You're literally just a limp, spineless jellyfish. And that's all Ralph and his co-hosts are, is limp, spineless jellyfishes with no real opinions or views that add really nothing to anything. And the only reason people even watch Ralph at this point is to see if he's going to either kill himself or get drunk and make an ass of himself on stream. And flagging down PPP isn't going to change the fact that he won the other day. He won. Him and Godwinson have consistently blown you guys out of the water in terms of views, in terms of getting Jim on the show. I mean, Ralph, when was the last time Jim was on the show? What, that fucking boring-ass debate with Dick? Where Dick didn't research coronavirus at all? And then Jim, who has just been obsessed about it for months, just sat there and just completely plied him with facts, and then Dick just politely agreed with him. That's not blood sports. That's not a debate. It's two guys talking about something, and Dick even was like, oh, I haven't really researched this at all. Like, they need to stop calling this shit blood sports. And Ralph, you didn't bring back blood sports. You'll never bring back blood sports because you're too much of a bitch to ever even engage in blood sports. So shut your fat ass up, drink yourself into a stupor, and when you finally wake up at 4 o'clock in the afternoon because you've been drunk and up all fucking night drinking, maybe you'll call your mother and wish her a happy Mother's Day. God, you're fucking pathetic.